I want everything that Cam brings. I don't want Cam light. I want full Cam. I think what we're going to do, we'll give Cam most of the reps this week. PJ will get reps, obviously, as he always has. But I will give Cam most of the reps and try to get him as brought up to speed as possible. I thought he did a great job last week. Having 10 plays that he was kind of ready for, 10 to 15. So we'll start getting him ready, and if he's ready to start, great. And if if he's not quite ready yet to do everything, then obviously PJ's available.
It feels like the vibe, the energy in the city has kind of changed since Cam's arrival.
You said how what am I? How
conscious, or like how much of that do you feel?
About the vibe in the community. Well, I took my daughter to the daddy-daughter dance, and I had two on Friday night, and I had two little girls, 5 and 7, come up and asked me if I was the coach of the Panthers, and I said yes I am. And then they said, is Cam really back? So I'm assuming if that's being brought up at the daddy-daughter dance, it's probably being brought up everywhere.
That's pretty good. Oh, that's good. I like that.
It definitely is. I mean, look, It's exciting.
Yeah.
It's exactly what the Panthers needed. As David Tepper does his franchise quarterback wheel of fortune, and they lost with Teddy Bridgewater, and they lost with Sam Darnold. Now they got to get through the rest of the season, and who knows what next year will bring. But at least for now, it's exciting. It makes them relevant. We're talking about an otherwise not very interesting team because of Cam Newton's presence. But, Chris, it dawned on me last night, because when I do the power rankings, I try to add a line that is maybe a little funny, maybe a little snarky, maybe a little insightful.
No,
and
not
what
you.
occurred to me, what occurred to me as to the Panthers is this should not be about Cam Newton learning the Joe Brady offense. This should be about Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator of the Panthers, learning the Cam Newton offense. Am I right or am I wrong?
You're right. I'm with you. I mean, I think there's first off, we've talked about it for a few weeks, right? That it feels like, me, I'm Ron Jaworski. I watched the film that teams have caught on to the Joe Brady offense. Now, it's great Christian McCaffrey's back. Of course, he gave them a jolt last week with his running and catching out of the backfield. But, yes, there needed to be another wrinkle to that offense. It was too easy. There's too many games the last 4 or 5 weeks where I go, the defenders are running the routes for the wide receivers. They know what's coming. So, yes, that's where Cam Newton can be very valuable, is he can add another element that you have to defend within that offense that's going to change them, let alone like something, I talked about on my podcast a little yesterday, and you and I have talked about this a lot. I mean, we know this for a fact, right? Cam Newton got an energy and an aura about him that gives the rest of the team energy, gives the locker room energy. He is one of those guys, again, when he's in the locker room, you go, oh, he's our quarterback? Oh, we got a chance to win this week. We heard it over and over in New England. I know it didn't end the greatest way in New England, but all they ever did was praise his work ethic and his passion and energy that he brought to the practice field, the locker room, the meetings every day, and that raised the level of the rest of the team. And they were kind of like, I don't know, just treading water in the deep end where you just go, I don't know. They're just, there seems to be a lack of life about them as of late. And he brought some life to that football team yesterday or 2 days ago. And I know even Christian McCaffrey made a comment, I believe, after the game, like he's never been around a guy like Cam Newton. Never in his life has he ever seen a guy that just has that type of personality and people gravitate towards and all of that. So there's something to be said about that. And I think you're right. This might be a big-time move for them to kind of help them get over the hump here.
That's why he was available for so long. Yesterday,
Right.
Shereen Williams and I were talking about it on PFTPM, and we kicked around the idea that other teams may now be regretting not pursuing him. The problem is you needed to have the planets line up just perfectly. Starting quarterback gone for an extended period of time due to injury, or because you just decided you're done with this guy.
Yeah, right.
And which is a little of both, I think,
right.
in Carolina.
I think so. Yeah.
And you need someone to come in to whom you are handing the keys, not for a few weeks like Geno Smith in Seattle while they wait for Russell Wilson to come back, because that was the first team that called Cam Newton. You need a situation where you are throwing him the keys and you are saying, drive us out of this mess. And that's what the Panthers were the first team to check all those boxes. And if it wasn't the Panthers, who knows who else it would have been? Because, Chris, the deeper you get into the season, the greater the temptation to just say, we're going with the guy who's here that we know.
Yeah.
The guy that
Right.
knows our offense, the guy that knows our system, next man up. We don't have the time to stop everything we're doing and either change our offense or teach our offense to a guy who doesn't know it. But when the backup to Sam Darnold is former XFL quarterback P.J. Walker, no disrespect at all intended, it's easier to say, you know what, instead of next man up, we're gonna go ahead and sign the guy who's waiting to come in and transform a locker room and bring the kind of energy that he brings that makes him unattractive as a backup, but makes him very attractive as the starter.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You know, it's a move. It's a guy that gives the team belief. You know, again, P.J. Walker, he's a fine player. I like him. You know, he might be a starting quarterback for a team one day and you know, do some successful things. At the very least, I think he's a pretty high-end backup quarterback. I do think that. He's a good athlete. He doesn't lose control of the football. You know, he can make all the throws within reason. I mean, he's not going to, like, wow us with lasers around the field. But he's good from that standpoint. But Cam has a different, you know, just energy he brings to a football team. Always has, always will. Let alone, I think, you know, with the way their team's built, it makes sense schematically. You know, we've seen the last two weeks or 3 weeks, and I know they lost to the Patriots in between the Falcons win and, of course, Arizona, but they basically have gotten into, like, we're going to run the ball and play through our defense, period. Their defense is special. It's talented. It's better than statistically it's even ranked. I mean, it just goes into the old adage of, like, when the offense is off the field every 3 plays, like we always talk about, you know, the dam is going to break at some point. There's only so long the defense can be great for. It is a great defense, and now you got a Cam Newton who gives the whole team positive vibes, energy. They can play through the run game a little bit more and manage the game that way. It just makes a lot of sense in a lot of different ways. And I'm excited to see it. I'm excited for the Carolina Panthers. I'm excited for Cam Newton. It hasn't been easy the last few years, but I think you said it right, and we'll see where it goes. But, you know, they got some winnable games on the schedule coming up here. You know, you look at them, Washington football team, and of course, Ron Rivera and all that. The Miami Dolphins the week after that. They got a bye week, and then the Atlanta Falcons. They can win 3 in a row easy and be sitting here at 8-5, and we can go, wow, the Panthers are a legit playoff football team. So that's what I'm excited to see as we go forward here.
Most of the leaves are off the trees. Thanksgiving is just 9 days away. There's usually that team that's hovering around 500. One of those teams out there, and maybe it'll be multiple teams this year, that get hot and start stringing together wins in December, and they carry that urgency into the postseason. That's what we need to be on the lookout for. And one of the ingredients for a team that gets in as a wild card is having a great quarterback. And if Cam Newton stays healthy, that's the key, the wear and tear. Can he stay healthy for half of a season? Can he perform at a high level? Will they adapt their offense to him in a way that makes sense? A lot of questions still, but it's fun. It's exciting. And so far it's been pretty successful. Those 2 touchdowns with only 9 snaps. He was 3 for 4 passing for 8 yards and a touchdown, but he had a 33-yard pass interference also on a deep throw that he made. 3 carries for 14 yards and a touchdown, and we'll see if they can get the win. But very, very many reasons to be excited about the Panthers. After they started 3-0, they fell off. Now, you know, it's just amazing. It just shows you how much changes during the course of a football season, because there was a time in late September, early October where we thought, wow, Sam Darnold, he's figured it out.
Right.
Stupid Jets. You did it again. No. I mean, and all due respect to Sam, they recognize that. And that's, hey, David Tepper is just going from guy to guy until he gets a chance to go all in for somebody high in the draft or trade for an established veteran. He's going to roll the dice on these different quarterbacks, and he's going to pay a lot of money to guys who aren't playing for the team anymore. Like a lot to Teddy Bridgewater, $18 million next year to Sam Darnold, offset by whatever he makes elsewhere, and then he'll keep going. But for now, I think you just settle in and enjoy this vibe as the Panthers try to take one of the playoff spots in the NFC, and we get to see more of Cam Newton screaming, "I'm back" to the world. That's fun.
It is fun.
Sometimes it's good to have some fun.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.